Hello, my name is Jimenez, and today I have the honor to interview the MA with the Carmen Sanchez host. Thank you for your time and for the opportunity.
Thank you for having me here and one more time with you.
Thank you. Today we are going to talk about teaching resources as a support for learning in the classroom. I have some questions for you.
Go ahead.
All right, thank you. So my first question is, how important do you think teaching resources are in supporting students learning in the classroom?
Well, resources are so interesting because traditionally the Dominican school and a lot of institutes or academic they have been working with the traditional form. But the resources are very interesting. For example, today the technology it's one of fundamental part of the teaching. The cell phone, television, all of those gadgets are so interesting at a moment of teaching because it's going to be easier for you when you use technology and of course the modernity require you that you have to use the technology and a lot of resources because it's going to be better for the students.
All right, thank you. What type of teaching resources do you use most often in your English classes?
Where I use the television and the television they are going to project because I like to work with projects and they represent on television on the screen the visual part of what my students do. And of course, reading books. I love really to use reading books because it's another fundamental part of our students to read. And then when you read, you analyze those material. And it's one of my favorite really. And another materials that I like to use is speeches. Speeches, I like to use materials, speeches like Obama speeches, motivational speeches. And so the students are going to analyze that kind of material because at the same time they analyze the material, but they are exposed to listen the native of pronunciation. It is a double function. You use the material, but also you can catch the native pronunciation.
All right, thank you. How do you choose the appropriate resources for your students' level and needs?
That is a very good question. That's a very good question. As I told you before, I like to read very much, and then in this continuing reading, I get a lot of good information because permanently I'm reading, and so that permits me to get good material, and then immediately I share this material with my students. And at the same time, I'm all the time looking for material on television, internet, and then I say, okay, this is an excellent material for children with my students. So what I mean is that permanently I'm looking for material, and I consider which material is good for, etc., etc. Books and videos. All the time I'm looking for them.
All right. How do you teaching resources make your lessons more interactive and engaging?
Repeat that question, please.
How do you teaching resources make your lessons more interactive? More interactive.
I don't understand very well the question.
So it's basically how you with your resources make like the class more interesting for students.
Okay, okay. Yeah, definitely it makes it very interesting because are we are out of the tradition. We are looking for uh, good material, as I told you, like those audios. And so I like to write. I like to write what I need to get the them.
Okay.
I I watch or I listen, I see the videos, and I'm going to write a questionnaire based on the material I'm going to work. This is a strategy that I implement. Not only we are going to work with some video now, but also that I like to prepare the questionnaire in order to follow step by step what I want to get with my students.
Okay. How do you encourage students to use learning resources outside the classroom?
With the videos, I I give them some structure in order to analyze the material. If we are going to analyze a book, we are going to analyze a video or something like that, some material, visual. I prepare some guide, and they are going to follow the guide. For example, one interesting resource that I like to use is the interview. And so the student get together and they prepare, one of them is going to ask, another is going to answer, and vice versa. And that makes sure that they are going to be working, socializing all of the material at home. Or they can visit each other, right? They can visit each other, okay? You are going to be in a video, I'm going to interview you, you are going to receive that, you are going to answer, etc., etc. And that is a way
All
to
right.
increase the power, how to speak English and how to be in contact with English.
Okay. And my last question is, what competence are you developing throughout the use of teaching resources in your work?
Now, reading, uh, reading and comprehension material is very important because, as I told you before, when you read, you are going to learn. Because it's another way to learn. It is not only to be working with the traditional technique. Student, teacher. No, no. This is a part of the old history of teaching. That is why it is very important to create those strategies like the questionnaire, analyzing videos, and it's going to give them a good result, definitely.
As you told me before in our last interview, do it. It's practicing more than theory.
Yeah. Speaking. And as I told you another day, uh, Sultan, Sultan recommend that next time we are going to talk so much about Sultan because he has a lot of good strategies, and we are going to share some experience coming from Sultan because he said that the principal purposes are the students. So, and to be working only in the traditional way. That is why the professor, they should be working all the time with a firm purpose to, to get strategies. I'm sure that you got a lot of strategies and you implement them, if the students are going to receive that benefit. So we have to keep in touch all the time with something new, something new, something new. That is why the teachers have the great responsibility, because this is a social responsibility. It is not because of the money that you are going to produce monthly. No. Teachers shouldn't work for that. Shouldn't work. They should work hard for having results, because this is a social labor. When you teach them and they can get a good job, they can transform their life, is part of you as teacher. That is why this is a great responsibility. And I insist to all of the teachers that they should be working permanently, looking for resources that help the students to develop their knowledge.
Thank you so much, Sherman. It was a pleasure.
For me,
Thank you so much for your time.
thank you.